ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ। ਆਪਣੀ ਸੋਚ ਦੇ ਇੱਕ ਹੋਰ ਐਪੀਸੋਡ ਤੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਵੈਲਕਮ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ। ਮੈਂ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ co-host ਜਸਮੀਤ। ਜਦ ਅਸੀਂ ਮੈਂਟਲ ਹੈਲਥ ਬਾਰੇ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ, ਬਹੁਤ ਜ਼ਰੂਰੀ ਆ ਕਿ ਅਸੀਂ ਸਪੈਸੀਫਿਕਲੀ ਮੈਨਸ ਮੈਂਟਲ ਹੈਲਥ ਬਾਰੇ ਗੱਲ ਕਰੀਏ, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਅਕਸਰ ਸਾਊਥ ਏਸ਼ੀਅਨ ਕਮਿਊਨਿਟੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਮੈਨਸ ਮੈਂਟਲ ਹੈਲਥ ਨੂੰ ਇੰਨੀ ਅਹਿਮੀਅਤ ਨਹੀਂ ਦਿੱਤੀ ਜਾਂਦੀ। ਸੋਸ਼ਲੀ ਐਂਡ ਕਲਚਰਲੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਨਿਯਮ ਬਣਾਏ ਆ ਕਿ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਆਦਮੀ ਆ ਉਹ ਖੁੱਲ ਕੇ ਆਪਣੀ ਮਾਨਸਿਕ ਸਿਹਤ ਬਾਰੇ ਗੱਲ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ। ਅਕਸਰ ਅਸੀਂ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਆ ਕਿ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਆਪਣਾ ਦੁੱਖ, ਦਰਦ ਜਾਂ ਕੋਈ ਇਮੋਸ਼ਨਸ ਜਾਂ ਫੀਲਿੰਗਸ ਅੰਦਰ ਦਬਾ ਕੇ ਰੱਖਣੇ ਚਾਹੀਦੇ ਆ। ਐਂਡ ਇਹ ਬਹੁਤ ਵੱਡੀ ਗਲਤਫਹਿਮੀ ਆ, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਸਾਡੇ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਦੇ ਕੋਲ ਇਮੋਸ਼ਨਸ ਐਂਡ ਫੀਲਿੰਗਸ ਹੈਗੇ ਆ ਐਂਡ ਸਾਡੇ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਦੇ ਕੋਲ ਮੈਂਟਲ ਹੈਲਥ ਹੈਗੀ ਆ। ਸੋ ਅੱਜ ਦੀ ਡਿਸਕਸ਼ਨ ਵਿੱਚ ਅਸੀਂ ਇੱਕ son and mother ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ about men's mental health in the South Asian community.
ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਪਿਆਰ ਭਰੀ ਸਤਿ ਸ੍ਰੀ ਅਕਾਲ ਐਂਡ ਅਸੀਂ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਵੈਲਕਮ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਕਿ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਅਗੇਨ ਸਾਡੇ ਆਪਣੀ ਸੋਚ ਐਪੀਸੋਡ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜੁਆਇਨ ਹੋ ਰਹੇ ਹੋ। ਤੇ ਜਿਵੇਂ ਜਸਮੀਤ ਨੇ ਸ਼ੇਅਰ ਕੀਤਾ, ਮੈਨਸ ਮੈਂਟਲ ਹੈਲਥ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਕਾਫੀ ਸਟਿਗਮਾ ਹੈਗਾ ਆ। ਸੋ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਬੜੀ ਖੁਸ਼ੀ ਆ ਕਿ ਅੱਜ ਉਸਮਾਨ ਖਾਨ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਮਾਮ ਲਾਲਾ ਰੁਖ ਖਾਨ ਜੁਆਇਨ ਕਰ ਰਹੀ ਆ ਕਿ ਅਸੀਂ ਕਨਵਰਸੇਸ਼ਨ ਵਧਾਈਏ, ਉਸਮਾਨ ਦੀ ਜਰਨੀ ਬਾਰੇ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕਰੀਏ ਤੇ ਥੋੜੀ ਬਹੁਤੀ ਆਪਦੀ ਨੌਲੇਜ ਵਧਾਈਏ ਕਿ ਫੈਮਿਲੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜਦੋਂ ਮਾਨਸਿਕ ਸਿਹਤ ਦਾ ਰੋਗ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਆਪਾਂ ਕਿਵੇਂ ਸਪੋਰਟ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਹਾਂ। So to begin the episode, I want to first ask Usman to introduce himself to our viewers and tell a bit about yourself, anything that you feel comfortable sharing, where you're from, you know, what you're doing with your work, any hobbies, interests. I think it's nice to add that personal element about our guest.
Thank you so much, Maneet, Jasmeet. So happy to be here. And thank you to Soch for having this platform and forum. My name is Usman Khan. I was originally born in Pakistan, grew up here in the Valley in Los Angeles, California. I currently do career advising. I work with college students and I also do a lot of mental health advocacy. I graduated from Cal State Northridge in the counseling program, got my graduate degree in counseling. My specialty is college counseling and student services. So I took a lot of courses, not only in counseling, but psychology as well as mental health topics, ranging from also focusing on career development and supporting college students and being able to identify different aspects of mental health and raising and being able to hone in on how we can support each other, especially during these times of the pandemic. And so it's been life-changing for me to pursue counseling and to be able to be an advocate for mental health and being able to speak up and share my journey and help amplify others' voices. And so it's really an honor and privilege for me as a South Asian man to be able to speak up and be in this space with each of you and to share my journey. I look forward to it. I'm really excited and happy to also share regarding specific aspects of my mental health journey and how that's helped me, how that's shaped me into who I am today, and to help others in being able to shed light on mental health.
Thank you, Usman. It's so nice to hear about your journey of, you know, being born in Pakistan and then growing up in the States. And I'm sure we'll dive a bit deeper into your mental health experience. But it's so nice that you're joined and supported by your mom. Lala ji, je tusi sade viewers nu thoda bahota aapde bare dasso, tusi kithe born, raised hege ho. I know Usman ne share kita, you guys traveled and moved to the States. But kuch bhi aapde family bare, parivar bare, tusi viewers na share ਕਰਨਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ ਹੋ the introduction ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਸਾਡੇ ਲਈ ਵਧੀਆ ਹੋਗਾ to understand ਕਿ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ personal background experience ਕੀ ਹੈਗਾ ਆ।
Thank you so much. बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया, सत श्री अकाल, गुड इवनिंग, अस्सलाम वालेकुम, नमस्ते सबको। मेरा नाम लाला रुख है। जी, मैं जैसे कि उस्मान ने बताया, I was raised and born in Pakistan, you know, born and raised in Pakistan। और फिर वहाँ से जब हम you know, I have a background in medical field, you know. I used to work there in the medical field, and then when we decided to move here, जब हम यहाँ पे move हुए, तो कितना बड़ा cultural difference था पाकिस्तान से यहाँ आना, especially मेरे बच्चों के लिए। उस्मान जो है सिर्फ 9 years old था, 9 साल का था, और मेरी बेटी जो है सालेहा वो 10 साल की थी। और फिर वहाँ के भरे पूरे परिवार से निकलना और यहाँ आना, अमेरिका में सेटल होना, इट वाज क्वाइट चैलेंजिंग, यू नो, इन लाइक इन ईच वे, क्योंकि माहौल भी बदल जाता है, आपकी बहुत सारी आपको चीज़ें लर्न भी करनी पड़ती हैं, और फिर सबसे बड़ी बात जो होती है बच्चों के लिए स्पेशली आइडेंटिटी क्राइसिस होती है, क्योंकि उनके लिए ये चैलेंज होता है कि जब वो स्कूल जाते हैं तो उनके लिए एक्सेप्टेंस, सबसे पहले उनका नाम, उनका बैकग्राउंड जब पता चलता है कि यू बिलोंग टू पाकिस्तान और इंडिया और सम अदर लाइक यू नो थर्ड वर्ल्ड कंट्रीज, और आप वहाँ से आए हो, और फिर आपका नाम जो इम्पैक्ट करता है, like because we moved right after 9/11, तो उस वक्त मुसलमानों के लिए बड़ा चैलेंजिंग टाइम था अमेरिका में, but and that was a great challenge, not only for Usman and for us too, because it was very hard to see what Usman went through. तो उस्मान तो एक बड़ा माशाल्लाह से बहुत इंटेलिजेंट और सेंसिटिव और लाइक मासूम सा बच्चा था बिल्कुल. And when he went to school, तो वो जब शुरू में आता था तो मुझसे पूछता था कि ये बी वर्ड क्या होता है, ये एफ वर्ड क्या होता है, और ये लोग ऐसे क्यों बातें करते हैं बच्चे. तो थोड़ा मैं इसको समझाती थी और बताती थी कि बेटा ये you know you have to learn like to be kind to them, and you know you have to carry on your values, क्योंकि हम जो अपनी वैल्यूज लेकर आए हैं, प्यार की, मोहब्बत की और अच्छे इंसान होने की, वो हमेशा याद रखनी है, अच्छे अखलाक की, अच्छे इंसान की. जब तुम एक अच्छे इंसान हो गए तो सब कुछ बन जाओगे. ये मेरी वैल्यूज थी जो मैंने इसको टीच की, बताई. लेकिन एक बड़ा चैलेंजिंग सफर था, जर्नी है उस्मान का और मेरा एज अ मदर एंड सन, but it was challenging but rewarding, because I'm proud to be a mother of Usman, and I'm so proud to be there for him. And I want each parent, like, you know, please come forward. South Asian community, mothers, fathers, sisters, like each one of you, please open up, break up the stigma against mental health. Mental health को ऐसी नजरों से ना देखो, उसको बुरा ना समझो. आपको फिजिकल हेल्थ भी तो होती है ना. फिजिकल हेल्थ के लिए जब आप ट्रीटमेंट ले सकते हो बहुत सारी चीजों के लिए, तो मेंटल हेल्थ के लिए क्यों नहीं? व्हाई नॉट? प्लीज कम फॉरवर्ड, बी अंडरस्टैंडिंग, बी कंपैशनेट, बी काइंड. प्यार मोहब्बत दो, एक दूसरे को समझने की कोशिश करो. छुप ना जाओ ये सोच के कि मेरे बेटे दो हो, ये हो गया, मेरी बेटी ने हो गया, ओए होए कम्युनिटी क्या बोलेगी, लोग की बोलेंगे, हाय हाय मैं किस तरह जाके जो है ना लोगों को ये बताऊं कि नो, बी ब्रेव. Vulnerability is not a weakness. It's being brave. It's courageous. Be open. अपने प्यार से पहले तो अपने परिवार को बदलो, अपने बच्चों का साथ दो, और फिर जाके दुनिया को बदलने की कोशिश करो. ये मेरा जर्नी है, और ये we will discuss more about it, but my message is love. मेरा पैगाम मोहब्बत है जहाँ तक पहुँचे, क्योंकि जब आप एक ओपनली अपनी प्यार मोहब्बत एक दूसरे को देते हो तो पूरा इंसान भी अच्छा बन जाता है. एक दिन उसको भी समझ आ जाती है कि अच्छा होना क्या होता है, प्यार शेयर करना क्या होता है, अनकंडीशनल लव, सपोर्ट, काइंडनेस, कंपैशन, and being there for each other is so important. So सब लोगों के लिए मेरा एक प्यार भरा पैगाम है कि प्यार से एक दूसरे को देखो, आगे बढ़ो, हाथ थामो. पहले तो अपने परिवार का, अपने बच्चों का, और ये स्टिग्मा ब्रेक करो, और ये समझो कि हर चीज का अगर एक इलाज है तो प्यार मोहब्बत से आप डिप्रेशन, एंजाइटी और बहुत सारी चीजों को प्रिवेंट कर सकते हो. इवन वी कैन हेल्प सुसाइडल, you know, ideation, prevention, like that, you know. So it could bring so much change in the lives of many people. So that's
Thank you so much, Lala ji. कि तुसी, you know, already introduction ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਇੰਨੀਆਂ beautiful ਗੱਲਾਂ ਕੀਤੀਆਂ. There's so many beautiful messages that you talked about, like प्यार, मोहब्बत, communities coming together, families coming together. तुसी briefly अपने challenges बारे ਗੱਲ ਕੀਤੀ, you know, especially immigrating from Pakistan to the States post 9/11. That's even a challenge that we itself, like Winnie and I, cannot even imagine, because we weren't there, we didn't identify with that community. And I know, Usman, like you've mentioned in a few of the articles I've read about you, some of the discussions that you've done online, you have spoken openly about your challenges after immigrating to the States, especially as a young boy. Can you share a little bit about that journey and how that experience shaped your mental health?
I'd love to share that. Thank you for asking, Jasmeet. So I immigrated to Los Angeles, California, along with my parents and my sister back in 2002 May, a little after, less than a year after 9/11. And so um, we immigrated here, and I was 9 years old. It was a really challenging experience for me. Even till this day, I get, I'm comfortable talking about it, and I also get jitters speaking of it. And going back tracing to it. So my name being Usman, as you can imagine, I was going through a lot of racial discrimination for my background as a Pakistani and as a Muslim and now American. Just racial slurs, also being targeted for you know, little things like my accent back then and being able to not understand certain phrases and terms as my mom referenced, and also being able to fit in. I mean, I really struggle to find a sense of belonging here because I had a lot of things going against me, and amid all that, I also experienced a lot of anxiety with the discrimination and being bullied in the classroom and outside of the classroom too, in school, and also being discriminated by from also some of my teachers and authority figures. So that was really challenging. But what really helped me was being able to hone in on my support. And I wouldn't be here today speaking about this if it weren't for my mother and my family. And I'm really honored and grateful. And so it's been life changing to be able to give back and not only share my own journey, but also help others in articulating their own journeys and their own challenges and seeing them as not a negative, but as more as seeing the challenges as moments of reflection and moments of growth, and being able to sort of hone in on that has been really impactful for me, both personally and professionally in my career. And just to give you more of a recap in terms of my childhood, I was referring to my mental health. I was diagnosed with, struggling with anxiety at a young age, at 9, 10 years old in elementary school, and then later, I received diagnosis of OCD, which is obsessive compulsive disorder, and I attended a lot of therapy for that. I was able to get the help I need thanks to my parents having the awareness and the background within medicine. My parents, both my mom and my dad, are doctors from Pakistan, so they had the awareness of being able to get the help you need. And a lot of the times, I think with mental health, a barrier itself, which is quite paradoxical, is help seeking, because there's a lot of stigma with help seeking. मदद मांगने में बहुत सारी stigmas है, and I think that the stigma prevents people from getting the help they need because there's a stigma का पागल हो या कुछ खराबी है. So that was really life changing for me, and I think had it not been for me to get help and support from my parents and my family, and to be able to go to things such as CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy, and support groups at a young age, and attending therapy and being able to overcome my fears and my dysfunctional beliefs, and my being able to better manage my anxiety, and also feelings of depression, which is something that we need to also talk about. That how can we manage individually and collectively? How can we support each other in times when we're feeling down? And for me, I've discovered that it's often the darkest of times that we find hope and healing. And for me, that's been a full circle to be able to pursue counseling and to be able to get back and help other people, and doing career counseling and coaching and helping others, and also advocating and spreading, raising awareness about mental health, and being able to decrease the stigma and debunk and demystify the stereotypes and the myths around it, which is very prevalent in our South Asian communities. So I think a big barrier is being able to have these conversations and normalizing the topic and the conversation, which is so important. And I'm so happy that we can do that today. Thanks to Soch and to both of you for being able to provide that platform, and for all the amazing, incredible work you're doing, and others as well within Soch. And I'm really honored. And I think that being able to talk about mental health, from any perspective is not easy or simple, and it's not something that is necessarily always encouraged in our communities. So I'm really honored. And I also have been given, a new life. I went through life-threatening incidents at a young age, and that's helped me discover more of my purpose of how I want to give back. And I too, and seeing that each person has a purpose and a way of finding their sense of belonging and being able to find meaning in their life. And for me, that's been a lot of incidents, personally life-threatening incidents. When I had a car accident back in 2012. And my car was totaled. I was in the hospital, and so coming out of that, realizing that the higher consciousness, God has given me a new life, and being able to work through that lens and being able to really humble myself and be grounded and slow myself and take things slowly and slow down in life. And I also suffered from a drowning episode back in 2015 in a riptide at the ocean, and just realizing that, like, for me, God has given me so many new lives, and being able to understand that perspective that we each have a purpose. I think that's been really life-changing for me, and I want to help others also, encourage others to share their journeys and talk about their mental health and personal life challenges and moments of growth, and being able to hone in on how we can support each other individually and collectively for healing ourselves and our communities, and being able to work from that perspective. And having that self-awareness and acceptance, I think, is really important. Being able to accept ourselves as we are, and having that awareness that I too might feel this way. I might feel depressed or anxious, or I might be feeling really stressed today, but that I can still accept myself for where I am and who I am today, and accept others for where they are and meet them where they are at, because I think that's really important as well. Being able to meet your loved ones and your friends and family, and each person where they are and what they're going through, because we don't know what each of us are going through, and each of us have our own challenges and struggles that we're experiencing. But I think that's often a blind spot to be able to understand things from a different perspective, because I think that people don't necessarily understand what you see until they see what you understand, and that empathy and understanding is not a one-dimensional process. It's multi-layered and multifaceted. So I think being able to come in from that perspective and being able to empathize with others and being in their shoes and seeing things from a different perspective, I think changes a lot of things too when it comes to our well-being and our mental, emotional, spiritual well-being and mental health, and being able to understand that I might have not experienced this on my own, or they might not be going through what I'm going through, but I can still relate to the person and find common ground, and being able to find solace and support in that aspect as well.
Thank you, Usman. It's been so nice that, when you share your journey and you're talking about your struggles of experiencing anxiety, having bouts of depression, going through those traumatic events in a sense that really give you a new perspective. You've shifted how you tell your narrative in a means of supporting others and giving them that inspiration and hope. And, part of it, your personal journey, getting the help you needed in a timely manner because you had the support, along with the professional experience. Like, you've kind of come for full circle, like you said, in terms of finding a purpose. Like, all these things possibly happen for a reason, and the reason being that now you are helping those in need. And that journey can be very long. Some people do reach that point. Some people are still navigating and understanding their mental illness or mental health concerns. But the point of today's episode is to break that silence and to break the stigma, as Lala Ji started from the very beginning of this episode. So it's so nice to see that foundation in your home with your parents. ਲਾਲਾ ਜੀ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸਾਡੇ ਵਿਊਅਰਸ ਨੂੰ ਥੋੜਾ ਬਹੁਤਾ ਸ਼ੇਅਰ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਆ ਕਿ ਜਦੋਂ ਉਸਮਾਨ ਨੇ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਅਪਰੋਚ ਕੀਤਾ and Usman ne their dad nu approach kita about mental health concerns, ਕਿ right away from the beginning ਤੁਸੀਂ understanding ਸੀਗੇ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਉਹਨੂੰ accept ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਸੀ, ਸਾਨੂੰ ਮਦਦ ਦੀ realization ਸੀਗੀ ਕਿ ਇਹਨੂੰ ਮਦਦ ਦੀ ਲੋੜ ਆ, ਤੇ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਉਹ ਅੰਡਰਸਟੈਂਡਿੰਗ ਕਿੱਥੋਂ ਆਈ? ਬਿਕਾਜ਼ ਆਪਣੀ ਕਮਿਊਨਿਟੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਉਹ ਵੱਡਾ ਗੈਪ ਹੈਗਾ ਆ, ਰਾਈਟ? ਹੁਣ ਉਸਮਾਨ ਨੇ ਵੀ ਸ਼ੇਅਰ ਕੀਤਾ, ਜਦੋਂ ਕੋਈ ਵੀ ਮੈਂਟਲ ਇਲਨੈਸ ਬਾਰੇ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਦਾ, ਮੈਂਟਲ ਹੈਲਥ ਕੰਸਰਨਸ, ਆਪਾਂ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਆ ਲਾਈਕ ਚੁੱਪ ਕਰੋ, ਕਿਸੇ ਨੂੰ ਦੱਸੋ ਨਾ, ਇਹ ਫਿਰ ਆਪਣੇ ਪਰਿਵਾਰ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਸ਼ਰਮਿੰਦਗੀ ਆਊਗੀ, ਬਹੁਤ ਲੋਕ ਕੀ ਕਹਿਣਗੇ, ਆਪਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਅੰਦਰ ਹੀ ਅੰਦਰ ਖਾ ਜਾਂਦਾ, ਰਾਈਟ? ਸੋ little bit of understanding ਸਾਨੂੰ ਚਾਹੀਦੀ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ perspective, family perspective ਕੀ ਸੀਗਾ ਤੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਲੋਕ ਅੱਜ struggle ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਆ, accept ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਲਈ ਕੀ message ਹੈਗਾ ਆ?
जी शुक्रिया बहुत ज़्यादा, आपका क्वेश्चन बहुत अच्छा लगा मुझे। और ये लाइक इट वाज वेरी डिफिकल्ट और चैलेंजिंग था मेरे लिए जब मुझे पता चला बीइंग अ मदर, जब पेरेंट्स को ये पता लगता है कि उनके बच्चे जो है सफ़र कर रहे हैं, दे आर गोइंग थ्रू दिस एगनी, एंजाइटी, स्ट्रेस, तो बड़ा चैलेंजिंग होता है, बहुत मुश्किल होता है एक माँ के लिए स्पेशली कि अपने बच्चे को इस तकलीफ में देखते हुए जब माँ को कितनी तकलीफ होगी। तो मैं ये सोचती हूँ जब माँओं को अगर ऐसे पता चलता है कि मेरे बच्चे के साथ कुछ ऐसा हो रहा है, तो उसे तो सब कुछ छोड़ के सबसे पहले अपने बाहें खोल के अपने बच्चे को संभालना चाहिए, ना कि ये फिक्र करनी चाहिए कि सबसे बड़ा लोग की कहेंगे, लोगों के पीछे अपने अपने बच्चे दो डिसोन करो, लोगों के पीछे आप ये सोचो कि भाई दुनिया क्या कहेगी। तो आप दुनिया की इतनी फिक्र कर रहे हो, तो what about your own child? Do you really care about your own daughter or son or your loved ones? तो फिर आप कैसे पेरेंट्स हो? You know, पेरेंट्स तो वो होते हैं, बहन भाई तो वो होते हैं जो कि एक दूसरे का दर्द दुख देख के उनका दिल दुख जाता है। तो ऐसा माहौल बनाओ, ऐसा प्यार दो, ऐसी अंडरस्टैंडिंग दो अपने बच्चों को कि वो आपके पास खुद आके कंफर्टेबली आपको बता सकें कि उनको वो किस तकलीफ से गुजर रहे हैं। Always give them sense of belonging, sense of that compassion, sense of that understanding that you are loved no matter what, you know, कि तुसी बड़े अजीज हो मेरे लिए, चाहे दुनिया इधर से उधर हो जाए, मेरे लिए तो तुम ही हो। जब मेरे बेटे के साथ मुझे पता लगा, तो because he told you that we have a medical background, so we had an understanding, like, you know, he was going through challenges. I would see the change in his behavior because जब शुरू ये स्कूल जाना, जब इसने शुरू किया 4th grade में, तो सबसे पहले तो जो इसने ऐसे लिखा इंग्लिश में, तो उसके ऊपर उन्होंने कहा कि भाई he is intellectually identified. Wow, 4th grader, such a great English, and you know, he is so smart, like coming from Pakistan, and he was so recognized. And then one day the teacher, he becomes very favorite of his teacher. तो teacher जो है वो बच्चे जो है वो कहने लगे टीचर्स पेट बन गया भाई, ये तो टीचर्स का फेवरेट हो गया। और एक दिन उस्मान जो है टीचर्स लाउंज में बैठ के लॉस एंजलिस टाइम्स उठा के पढ़ रहा था और टाइम मैगजीन पढ़ रहा था। तो टीचर्स ने देख लिया और उन्होंने कहा कि उस्मान का इंटेलेक्चुअल लेवल इतना हाई है, एंड दे really was very, like, you know, they supported him and they were very proud of him, and we as a parent were very proud of him, and Usman was doing great in the school. But suddenly we started seeing the decline because he was targeted. He was targeted because his name is Usman, so people even called him Usama. तो एक कितना बड़ा ट्रॉमा था। और फिर उसके बाद जो है वो बच्चे उसको पिक करने लगे, उसको हर चीज में, उसके एक्सेंट पे, उस पे। तो मैंने बिहेवियर नोटिस करना शुरू किया कि उस्मान वाज टेकिंग अ लॉट ऑफ इंटरेस्ट इन द स्टडीज, बट नाउ ही इज नॉट हैप्पी टू गेट अप इन द मॉर्निंग एंड टू गो टू स्कूल। और वो स्ट्रगल कर रहा था और स्कूल जाने के लिए, इवन दो कि उसने पहले ये बात थोड़ी थोड़ी शेयर की कि भाई मम्मा बच्चे से कर रहे हैं, या फादर मुझे बताया कि भाई बच्चे जो है, मैंने कहा ओके आई विल गो एंड टॉक टू द टीचर्स, एंड we went and spoke to the teachers, and they said like, okay, they will take responsibility and they will tell the kids and parents. But you know, in retaliation, I think the kids become more like, you know, बच्चों ने ज़्यादा रिस्पॉन्स ऐसा देना शुरू कर दिया। उसकी वजह से हमने खैर स्कूल भी चेंज किया बाद में, लेकिन स्टिल द नेम, his name, his identity, his being from Pakistan, being Muslim was so discriminated. Oh my God! पहले तो मुसलमान, क्रिश्चियन, हिंदू, ईसाई होने से पहले तो आप क्या हो, एक इंसान हो ना, a human being. We are all human beings. We need to understand that what is our need as a human being. If we start from there, if we learn that as a human being, we all need to be loved. We all need to be accepted for who we are, beyond any, like, you know, beyond race, color, religion, all those things, which breaks my heart so much. तो जब मुझे पता लगा, तो उस वक्त मेरे लिए बहुत पेनफुल था, मैं बहुत हर्ट हुई, लेकिन मैंने उस्मान को शो नहीं किया. And I'm so proud of him. Now I can share, I can tell him. And I told him, like, it's okay, you're going to be fine, you know. But one day I noticed that he's washing his hands again and again, again and again. And I said, like, what's going on, Usman? Are you okay? And he said, like, oh, I thought like someone in the school threw something on my school bag and my hands are getting dirty. So I feel like I'm not clean. There was something on my school bag, and I picked it, and I think my hands get wet. I saw the signs of anxiety, and from that day, everything changed for me. There was nothing. I was doing my MPH, public health, master's in public health. But does that matter to go and help the public, or does it matter to go and save one person, your own child? So everything changed for me. From that day, I changed my priorities. From that day, I was a different kind of woman. I thought, like, first of all, I'm a mother. I had to save my child at a very young age. He's going through all this, and I had to be there. So we decided, Usman's dad and we decided to call and find the help. I went through, like, computer. I found out help, and like all day I would sit, I would find out, and we decided to take him to counseling and therapy, and from there on, and then the journey started. The journey started. It never ended, because that was the start, and it takes time, but it takes time, but it takes effort, love, understanding, openness. Be open, be mindful. Okay, अगर आप तुसी अपने बच्चे नो टाइम नहीं दे सकते, उसका ख्याल नहीं कर सकते, उसका दुख दर्द नहीं समझ सकते, तो फिर किस दुख दर्द का ख्याल करना है? फिर किथे जाके तुसी जो है ना दुनिया को सही करना है? दुनिया के वजह से जो है आपने अपने परिवार को इतनी तकलीफ देनी है? For me, nothing was important more than my own son's health and well-being. So I learned so many things. From that day, I started learning about child psychology. So I took classes online on child psychology to learn, like, how to deal with these challenging situations. So I learned child psychology. I was already trained back in Pakistan, because I used to learn a lot of alternative healing modalities. Like, I used to learn about yoga, hypnotherapy, mindful meditation and stuff. I was already into those things. So here I went and I started learning about mindful meditation, self-compassion, kindness. I attended courses, and I did learn the healing movements like yoga. Laughter yoga is the best, because I wanted to spread the laughter. Because इतने दुख भरी, जब आपको इतने दुख मिल रहे हो, तो आप हंस तो सकते हो ना, किसी को हंसा सकते हो ना. और these tears are not the tears of these are tears of joy, because we were there for each other. We were there, like, प्यार से और अंडरस्टैंडिंग से कि जो भी हो रहा है, it's okay, you are going to be fine. इसमें क्या हुआ? और भी तो, like, we go and get treatments for all the other critical health conditions. तो mental health के लिए क्यों नहीं? Why not? Please, इस बात से स्टिग्मा हटा दें और ये एक्सेप्ट करें पेरेंट्स कि आपको जो ही पता चले, या आपके अपने बच्चे को इतनी ऐसी अंडरस्टैंडिंग दो, ऐसा एनवायरनमेंट बनाओ, ऐसा माहौल बनाओ कि वो आपके पास आके खुद अपना बता सके, खुल के इजहार कर सके. And for all those young generation and people and anyone who's suffering, please, my message is to come forward. Vulnerability is not a weakness. ये किसने कह दिया कि मेंस मेंटल हेल्थ के लिए कि आदमी को तो रोना नहीं चाहिए, उसे तो बताना नहीं चाहिए, उसको तो ऐसे होना चाहिए? Wow, all those things are no for everything. No, men are human beings too. They need to cry, they need to come forward, they need to be held, they need to get the sense of belonging, they need to tell that what do they feel, their emotions, their behaviors, their things like anxieties and stresses, whatever is that, they need to express it. Give them permission. अपने बेटों को, अपने भाइयों को, अपने प्यारों को इजाजत दो कि वो आगे आए और आपका हाथ थाम के आपको बताएं कि वो किस तकलीफ से गुजर रहे हैं और वो क्या चाहते हैं आपसे. वो सिर्फ एक अंडरस्टैंडिंग चाहते हैं, आपकी सपोर्ट चाहते हैं, आपका लव चाहते हैं, आपकी केयर चाहते हैं, और आप वहाँ उनको वो सेफ स्पेस प्रोवाइड करो, वो अपने घर में एक ऐसा माहौल बना दो कि हीलिंग वहीं से शुरू हो जाए. जब it says like charity begins at home, मैंने ये लगाया हुआ है यहाँ पे, the peace and charity begins at home. तो अगर आप चाहते हो कि आपके प्यारे जो हैं खुश रहें, तो पहले उनको खुद एक्सेप्ट करो for who they are. They're beautiful human beings and there is nothing wrong to have those emotions, to have those difficulties, to have those challenges. लाइफ में बहुत कुछ होता है जिसकी वजह से इंसान को ये सारी चीज़ें फेस करनी पड़ती हैं, बिल्कुल. तो उस्मान के लिए भी एक बड़ा चैलेंजिंग टाइम आया. तो वो एक, क्योंकि एक बहुत सेंसिटिव बच्चा था, हसास बच्चा था, तो उसको ही वेंट थ्रू ऑल दोस चेंजेस. तो हमने मिल के एक सेफ स्पेस क्रिएट की. माय डॉटर, being a woman, it says like the women and girls are more stronger. They could like take care of their loved ones. But I think that might be true. लेकिन अगर माएँ बहनें मिलके प्यार से वो स्पेस क्रिएट करें तो बहुत कुछ चेंज हो सकता है. And I'm so proud of both of you, Jasmeet and Mani. Really, such a like wonderful young woman coming forward and trying to take that stigma out of the society and doing so much for the South Asian community.
Thank you so much, Lala ji. थोड़ा ना गल करके मैनू तो बहुत अच्छा लगता. Like I feel like this conversation can just keep going because थोड़ा message इतना powerful हैगा या and इतना simple भी हैगा या, है ना. तुसी beginning तो यही कह रहे हैं कि प्यार मोहब्बत दे नाल, open communication दे नाल तुसी एक दूसरे दा दर्द समझ सकते हैं, एक दूसरे दा दुख समझ सकते हैं. And I really like कि तुसी किया that at the end of the day we're all human. Right? Like who says, well, it's society that makes up these rules that men shouldn't be able to cry, that they shouldn't be able to show their feelings. But I really like that you said that vulnerability is not a weakness. Ki apne dukh, dard, emotions dikhana, especially for men, ek koi kamzori wali gal nahi honi chahiye. But definitely I think ki, you know, older South Asian parents knew ਇਹ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ episodes ਦੇਖਣੇ ਚਾਹੀਦੇ ਆ because ਤੁਹਾਡਾ message is loud and clear like you said, ਹੈ ਨਾ. and ਜੇ ਅਸੀਂ community ਤੋਂ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਵਰਗੇ ਹੋਰ ਲੋਕ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਆ ਸਕਦੇ ਆ ਜੋ ਇਹ message ਨੂੰ spread ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਆ, I think changes ਹੋ ਸਕਦੇ. and ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆਪਣੇ story ਵਿੱਚ ਵੀ ਇਹ ਕਿਹਾ ਕਿ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆਪਣੀ ਖੁਦ ਦੀ awareness ਵਧਾਈ, ਤੁਸੀਂ different courses ਲਏ, online learning ਕੀਤੀ, you know, ਤੁਸੀਂ holistic approach ਕੀਤਾ, yoga, meditation, mindfulness ਬਾਰੇ ਸਿੱਖਿਆ. so ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਵੀ ਕਹਿ ਚੁੱਕੇ ਆ, ਲੋਕਾਂ ਦੀ ਸੋਚ ਬਦਲਣ ਤੋਂ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਆਪਣੀ ਸੋਚ ਤੇ ਧਿਆਨ ਦੇਣਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ ਆ. like what is our own thinking about mental health? And in your case and in your family's and your husband's case, you guys came from a medical background. But sometimes, Jay, asi medical background to bhi aunde hain, still there's a stigma related to mental health, right? So I'm really glad that you opened up about this journey, about tusi apni khud di awareness kidda vadai, tusi, you know, Usman nu kidda support kita, open communication. It seems like that it was a very foundational element in your home, and that's how Usman was able to share his journey with you and get the support that he needed. And now, Usman, you're taking that personal journey and you're helping others. I think your platform is called counseling, right? So I think that is such a unique take on, you know, your identity and your experience and bringing forth that message to helping others. And you both had actually attended our South Asian Men's Forum. Usman, whose idea was it to bring your mom into this men's forum? Did you guys decide together that you wanted to attend? Did you ask her to attend? You know, in closing, did you just want to share with our viewers a little bit about what that journey was like, talking about your own mental health with your mom being present?
Yeah, I know. It's definitely, first I'd like to recognize I'm really privileged to be able to share on here, and it's a privilege for me to have support from my family and from mentors and loved ones, and my mom being here today. And I wanted to include her because she's been a huge part of my journey, and I wouldn't be where I am today without her and her unconditional love and support. So I wanted her to be a part of that forum and being able to share about my challenges and also sharing with other men and other advocates about my own journey and being able to talk about mental health and challenges. I think because as we said, it's part of being a human being, and life is full of ups and downs and ebbs and flows. But ultimately, how do you respond to that? That makes a huge difference. With mental health, a lot of it is how do you cope with it? Do you cope with it in a way that's adaptive or maladaptive? And how do you respond to the life challenges and daily life struggles when they happen? And so for me, being able to give back in a way that's inclusive and collective is really important. So I hosted panels focusing on storytelling for my platform, from posting on my social media and also on other websites on my accounts, to be able to host storytelling panels. I hosted last year a series of panels monthly focusing on, decreasing the stigma and helping, encouraging others to share their voice and their journeys about their mental health, so we could be able to collectively as a community in a virtual platform, raise awareness and talk about, how are we coping with things such as the pandemic, and how has our life shifted, how have the norms shifted, and how can I be a part of that space of healing where I can help others heal while I'm healing too, because I don't think it's inseparable, mutually exclusive. I think that I still, experience challenges with mental health on a daily basis, whether it be feeling anxious or feeling down or feeling stressed, and it's completely normal to a certain extent. And I've learned how to cope with it, but it doesn't mean that I'm necessarily overcome all of it. So I want to share that and highlight that as well. That I still cope with challenges, but it just how do I cope in a way which is efficient, where you're able to function in your daily life. And for me, I've been able to do that through the privileges afforded to me at a young age, and even currently, and being able to get the support and help I need. Um, and I think that there's multiple ways that we can seek healing. I think for me, being able to share on platforms, this is on here, and being able to host panels and talk to other people about their shared journeys and their career perspectives, and also their life stories, and exchanging narratives, and being able to encourage others to speak on these kind of platforms is also a way of healing, and being able to sort of see that healing is not a linear process, it's not one dimensional. And then being able to also talk about it in this space, I think is self-affirming for me to be able to understand that when it comes to even sharing on here, even if we impact one life or one person that is able to get something out of this here today, I think for me that's a huge achievement. So I feel really privileged and really grateful for being here, and honored for being able to share. And I'd love to share more as we go, and help with other events as well, and shed light on mental health, especially in our South Asian community, because there is a lot of social and cultural stigma, as you brought up, which can be a barrier for people to seek help and talk about these things, and normalizing the conversation, right? So I think that the barriers, the stigmas become a form of barriers, which can be very limiting and damaging. But if we were to normalize this type of conversation and speak in a way which is interactive and conversational, and normalize these topics, I think that's gonna really go a long way. So I'm really grateful, and I appreciate you, Jasmeet and Manique, for being able to, for giving us this opportunity to share today. And I'm really thankful for my mom, Lala Rukh, for being here today as well, and for being able to support me throughout, and also sharing her perspectives. I'm really out of words. I'm really honored.
Thank you, Usman. I think you left the viewers with such a powerful message that in terms of storytelling, it's so powerful. And I think that's one of the strategies that we've been using here at Soch. As soon as we speak up, whether we share within our family, our trusted friends, we're really able to expand and really seek the help that we need. I think that's the first step. You need to speak up to really get the help that's out there. And Lala ji, we are coming to the end of our episode, but you know, ek do minute je tusi even ek minute te ek last message sade viewers nu dena chahne ho before we close up. Sade ਲਈ, I know tusi both messages share kite up, but your final words for everyone that's watching today.
बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया. मेरा फाइनल मैसेज अभी भी सिर्फ यही है कि मेरा पैगाम मोहब्बत थे जहां तक पहुंचे. तो तुसी सारे मिलके एक दूसरे से प्यार भरी मोहब्बत भरी ताल्लुकात रखो और इस तरह के प्लेटफॉर्म बनाओ कि जहां हर कोई कंफर्टेबल फील करे, आके एक्सप्रेस कर सके अपने आप को, छुप छुपा के मास्क पहन के अपने फीलिंग्स छुपा के डर डर के रहना भी कोई जिंदगी है. आगे बढ़ो. ये मास्क जो अभी तो हमारे लिए एक डेली ऑर्डर बन चुका है, लेकिन क्या हम नॉर्मल जिंदगी में भी मास्क पहन के नहीं फिरते हमेशा? ये तो अभी पेंडेमिक की वजह से हो गया, लेकिन क्या हर किसी ने एक मास्क नहीं पहना हुआ? हर कोई एक दूसरे से छुपता छुपाता नहीं फिर रहा, लेकिन क्यों? मेरा मैसेज ये है कि प्लीज वो मास्क उतारो एंड एक्सेप्ट योरसेल्फ कि जो भी आप हो बहुत अच्छे हो, बहुत प्यारे हो, बहुत वैल्यूएबल हो, बहुत अजीज हो. आगे बढ़ो, हाथ थामो, अपने प्यारों का अपना दुख सुख शेयर करो, क्योंकि बहादुर वो नहीं होता, ब्रेव वो नहीं होता है कि जो छुपता छुपाता है और डरता है और सारी उम्र ये सोचता रहता है कि लोग क्या कहेंगे, लोग क्या कहेंगे. लोग तो वैसे भी कहते हैं, कहते ही रहेंगे. आप ये बोलो कि आप क्या कहोगे. तो आगे बढ़ो और शो करो इमोशंस एक दूसरे को, अपनी तकलीफ का इजहार जो भी है वो करो और समझने की कोशिश करो कि your loved ones are very important. Be there for them, and if they are struggling, hold their hands, give them a beautiful hug, tell them that I'm there for you no matter what. And this is my message, and I'm here for Usman and everyone who's struggling, and anything I could do to spread the word to be, just accept yourself, be yourself, develop that sense of belonging. एक कम्युनिटी बनाना और सेंस ऑफ बिलोंगिंग डेवलप करना बहुत ज़रूरी है, और उसके लिए आगे बढ़ के स्टोरी शेयर करना बहुत ज़रूरी है. एंड आई एम सो प्राउड ऑफ माई सन उस्मान. आई एम सो प्राउड, लाइक ही इज, स्टोरी इज पावरफुल एंड ही हैज़ अ करेज. उसके अंदर वो हिम्मत है, वो जज्बा है, वो जोश है. वो डर ख़त्म हो गया कि लोग क्या कहेंगे, सबसे बड़ा रोग क्या कहेंगे लोग. अगर ये करते रहोगे तो लाइफ्स कैसे चेंज करोगे. आगे बढ़ो.
Thank you.
शेयर करो.
Yeah, thank you, Lala ji. Honestly, it was such a heartfelt message. Sare viewers lay. The episode, we were planning to do half an hour, but the conversation was so good. We've been talking for 45 minutes. And I think, definitely need hegi aapa hor bhi opportunities explore karange to bring you back both as guests. So if anyone jehde bhi aj watch kar rahe hai, ਤੁਸੀਂ Usman the work follow ਕਰਨਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ ਹੋ, counseling is his Instagram page. ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸਾਨੂੰ email ਵੀ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ, ਅਸੀਂ ਸਾਨੂੰ information page ਸਕਦੇ ਹਾਂ, ਤੇ ਹੋਰ ਕੋਈ ਜਾਣਕਾਰੀ ਲਈ ਤੁਸੀਂ sochmentalhealth.com ਤੇ visit ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ, ਸਾਨੂੰ email ਵੀ ਭੇਜ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ, info@sochmentalhealth.com. ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਦਾ ਥੈਂਕ ਯੂ. ਅਸੀਂ ਅਗਲੇ ਵੀਕ ਇੱਕ ਹੋਰ ਐਪੀਸੋਡ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਆਵਾਂਗੇ. ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ, ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ.